Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to another exciting Minecraft discussion. My name is Dr. Kimberly Quinn, and I am here to help people become the boss of their brains, or the boss of their thoughts. And I'm here on the lovely Champlain College campus. It's a little windy, so I'm going to try and get out of that so that we don't have any issues with the wind and such. And there it comes. Okay, back this way. Okay, so today's topic is how to get an hour back. Might be a little loud because I'm outside. Sorry about that. How to get that hour back, because we do so much mindless stuff, and it's just when we're on autopilot, just not living deliberately. And I'm not saying it in an accusatory way, because I fall into it myself, and it's easy to do in this fast-paced world for sure. That is the gorgeous Aiken Hall where the Morgan Room is, one of my favorites. I call it the Harry Potter Room. And there's that noisy garbage truck that was just on the other side. Okay, so we're going to think about what you could do if you had an extra hour each day. What would you do with it? Never mind, not to be morose, but if it were your last day, probably every single millisecond would be planned out, right? Camera seems blurry too. Maybe it's just me. Think about it, like walk the dog, give the dog a belly rub, spend valuable time with a partner, friend, make whatever that you've been wanting to make for a long time instead of that same old chicken dish that's quick and easy. Go for a run, go for a walk, ski, plant a flower, I don't know, something, right? And so much time disappears from us each and every day while we're on autopilot. So I have to do a shout out to Breathe magazine, and I would love to shout out to an author, but this is the weirdest thing because I don't think I've ever seen this before. But I didn't see an author. I looked high and low. So Breathe magazine 2021 version. So there's some stats. Is like, actually we'll talk about, I think actually never mind that. We'll get to the stats in a second, because hopefully we are spending our life minutes as if they are cash. I say to my students that think about it. If you had a Ben Franklin, very few, if any of us, would take a $100 bill and just burn it up with a match. Probably not, right? And so our life minutes are obviously nothing more valuable than our life minutes, and we have to really, make conscious choices about how we spend these, because there's only so many, obviously, each day, and then each week, month, year, and all the years of our lives, for sure. And so some ways to get those back are, number one, put down your phone, unplug the drug, because the cell phone is probably one of the fastest, and yes, you're saying, yes, you're using it to film. I am, but this is really all I do with it, to be truthful with you. And it texts if I have to pick somebody up or drop them off. I don't really use the phone all that much, just so I'm saying. So, and apparently on average, your average person, say digital consumer or whatever, this is Breathe magazine stats, 2 hours and 23 minutes per day. Oh my gosh, on social networks. We're talking about grown-ups. If we go back into teenagers and young adults, solely that crew, I bet it would be, actually I know that it's higher. So, digital consumers, 2 hours and 23 minutes per day on social networks and messaging, texting, emailing, whatever. Think about that. Think about that times 7, right, for a week, then times 4 for a month, then times 12 months in a year. That is a lot of life minutes just right down the rabbit hole on social networking. It must be garbage day today. That's okay. We don't care. We just talk right over it. And that's crazy. So put down your phone, and it doesn't have to be a cold turkey situation. You can limit yourself. In my Minecraft class, usually by the end of the class, some of them have learned how to use the different apps on there to actually put timers on. So some of them go cold turkey, and some of them limit themselves. There can be a gray area for sure. But think about that time, 2 hours and 23 minutes. That's a part-time job. That's 2.5 hours out in the woods or with somebody. I don't know, something that's not that. And then limit oh gosh, this is what to be totally honest with you, I'm not wired for lies. The email checking. Limit the email checking. I am absolutely a work in progress with this. I am admitting it. And I just wish there's a book out there called like the 4-Minute Work Week or something. Don't quote me on that because I haven't. A friend was telling me about it years ago, and that's probably that and a Red Bull get you that and 450 get you a Red Bull, because I don't remember it. But it was a book written about how to limit that. So in this article, it just says try to limit to 3 times a day, like whatever the beginning of your day is. We don't want to say times; everybody's on a different schedule. But beginning, middle, end of the day, and then also draw a line in the sand at night, and that's where I gotta work on that myself, truthfully. I'm conscious of it. I don't just bathe in email, which is, some people just like reside there. I don't do that, but I'm like a hummingbird. Like I zip in and out and check them, and realize that when you just dip in, especially in the Fast Mind Club, which I'm aware of, it also throws your focus, even for a neurotypical. So if you think, oh, I'm just checking it for 30 seconds, you're not really. Well, if you're responding to it, it's probably longer than that anyway. But it also takes your focus away from what you're doing. So even a neurotypical is going to take some time to have to come back to that. And those of us in the Fast Mind Club, even more, no question. It says, this McKinsey study about it says professional people, which I'm in that category too, spend about 28% of their work days. Can you imagine that? That's like almost a third checking and responding to emails. That's nuts. Add that time up. I mean, that's just so crazy. And think of what we could do, with that time as well. Another one, which I actually am doing, I say I'm really a work in progress with all of it, but I'm better at this one, the one that says batch cook for when you have a busy week. And every week of my life is busy in a good way. I don't want to be that person. I'm busy. I don't like those people. Like, they think they're busier than everybody else. Come on, really? So just a full week, because I do what I love, so I don't feel like I'm being taxed or anything. Like, but it is full. It is definitely, every week of my life is very, very full in a good way. And so I actually do try to make like a big shebang on Sundays, especially since my husband Tommy can't boil water, but it's like a whole nother video probably. He's got a lot of gifts. I love him very much, but his cooking's just not one of them. So I make like a ton of stuff, especially in the fall, because I love this season for making turkeys and stuff. I don't just make them on Thanksgiving. I make them a lot. Then I make soup, and that lasts a while. So it's really good if you can, if that's your schedule. Not everybody has weekends off, and I didn't used to, so I understand that. But to batch cook, and then you've got stuff to make it through at least probably till Thursday if you plan right. And so definitely that can make life so much easier. So this way, if you have a longer day, you walk in, bang. Oh, another thing that I love, and it's in the fall, because I also love the grill in the summer, and that's quick but different, is in the fall, I use the crock pot a lot, because I love to just walk in and the whole house smells like pot roast. It's great. It's just so good. And then you don't have to do anything. Like, you get home from your day and you've got pot roast. All you do is, and it's hot, and it's so good. So I would say do a big batch cooking and use your slow cooker or your crock pot. And then batch cook. And then what else do we have here? Oh, buy time, not stuff. Oh, I'm huge on that. That's also in Sean Akers' Happiness Advantage too. And I just have been living that way for a while. If you can, not that we don't have to buy stuff sometimes that gives us a little fix, new outfit. You got to do that once in a while. But spend time on experiences. It's so much better. It's way better to spend time on experiences, doing something with somebody, or just yourself. A lot of times I don't have somebody to ski with, and I just go ski on my own, which is fine. Or my oldest son a lot also. And go to lunch with somebody. Go on a trip somewhere if you have the means. Experiences, things that will make memories, because the whole thing was we want to spend our life minutes on things that are significant, meaningful, memory making things. So spend money on time, not stuff. Batch cook for, just think of the life minutes that would save right there. Unplug the drug for sure. Maybe think about setting some kind of setting something up on your phone to protect yourself from yourself, with the social media usage. But like my students do, put a little, whatever they do, I don't even know what they do, but they put a little timer on or something, and it blocks them off. And I'm trying to think, what else do we say? Oh, make the most of your commute. This one may not apply to you. It definitely applies to me. And my commute is actually gorgeous. It's also an hour and 7 minutes to exactly where I'm standing at this minute, one way, without snow. And that without snow clause is pretty huge because I'm in northern Vermont. So, and people, when I'm out in the country, people know how to drive. You get anywhere close to Burlington, I don't know what happens. Everybody's going an inch an hour, and it's a little frustrating. Anyway, I know where that came from. But make the most out of your commute, which means sometimes I'm just mindful. Sometimes you're just looking at, like now, it's the fall and it's beautiful. Sometimes I'm also going over what I'm doing in my class in my head, and where I can get reception, I listen to my dear friend Oprah. You know what a fan I am of her, even though she's not aware of how our close friendship, but I do hope to meet her someday. Because her podcasts get me in such a great place, contemplative, or some other podcast that means a lot for you, and make the most of your commute. The point is to not let your life minutes slip away. You want to spend them on purpose, deliberately. It comes down to living deliberately. And then lastly is like, what are we waiting for? Like, oh, these are all good tips, Kim, thanks. I'll get on that, a week from next Wednesday. Well, a week from next Wednesday may not be here. That's what I'm telling you, right? As far as we know, this is not a dress rehearsal. This is not a dress rehearsal at all. The gazebo finally opened up. That's great. This is not a dress rehearsal, which means, not to be morose, we can be morose. It's cliche. People say, any day could be your last. That's true stuff. We don't like to say it because we don't like to think it, but there's no guarantees here. And not only that, leaving like the morose stuff aside, it's just quality of life-wise. There's nothing more valuable than our life minutes. So let's go back to a little recap here. We should spend our life minutes, ideally, for something that involves significance, something that's meaningful, something that's going to make memories, and also growth, physically, spiritually, mentally, all of it. And not sure why this camera's doing this, but we're back to the Lion King tree. Okay, so that is it. Spend your life minutes like they're cash, and if you learn how to practice time creativity, we don't say time management in Mindcraft because it sounds so managerial, not fun, not exciting. It sounds like a military drill. So with my Mindcrafters, we say time creativity, which makes you want to do it, right? Be creative just like you are with other stuff in your lives, and save that hour or more. Be even cool if you saved more than that hour. So then you have this whole hour of life minutes to do with whatever you want. Okay, cool. So that's it. Spend your life minutes as if they are cash. This is Kimberly Quinn signing off from the gorgeous Champlain College in Burlington, Vermont. Have a mindful day.